see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, and this is episode 663 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Mr. Dolittle, and I'll be chatting about my new level of communicating with the animals, catching up with a friend, tracking down a really cool vehicle story I read, and much, much more. First, let's check in with the live chats, who's hanging out in the coffee crew, see who's hanging around this morning, and we'll hang out for about an hour. Hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, Rewilder Life. It is quiet in here. I was thinking the same thing when I popped up the live stream chat. I popped it up to check out who was hanging out early this morning, and there was nobody there, so I popped over and watched the fish doorbell for a little bit. Before the show. Almost made me late, waiting for a big whopper to swim by, and nothing happening at this moment over on the fish doorbell. Good morning, Digger. How are we doing? Hope everything is well there. Rewiler Life stepping out and rolling with a latte this morning. A latte, or just a little latte? No good. Pickle Pete's tired today. He looks like he worked hard out at his Camp Suniki. Is it Camp Suniki now still, or have we shifted titles? Are you allowed to still roll with the camp moniker? Good morning, Hunter. How are we doing this morning over on Twitch? I dropped you a message last night. I all day yesterday, all I could think of was Reed's bunny cam, and the possibilities for some future endeavors for you. Pickle Pete says his hearing is on March 10th. Nice. Get that all figured out and taken care of. So, what is in the cup this morning? Got some Silver Bullet blend again. I love the Silver Bullet blend. It is just a solid cup of coffee. That's all I'll have to say is a solid cup of coffee is the Silver Bullet blend. Brian, if you can drop the general bean mix that's in this Silver Bullet, because I can never remember the Malamar. All I want to think of is the old mallow ball, or the candy bar that I never had. I've never eaten it in my life. It's like mallow cups or something like that. He said Bitcoin blend beats it. It does beat it. Bitcoin blend does beat it for sure. Oh, Rewilder Life says April 10th. Yeah, his hearing is April 10th. Yeah, April 10th, not March 10th. Whoopsie. That was a bit of a mistake there. And she says, unless we've entered the Matrix, we may have. Had some fun conversations yesterday with Toolman Tim out at Delinquent Gully, and we might have tossed around a little bit of TikTok conspiracy theory, just because I enjoy it so much. I might have brought that up and talked about it. There it is. Silver Bullet blend is a monsoon Malabar, like mallow cup, Malabar, which is really dark roasted, yeah, and then a light Colombian. So how I mentioned yesterday, it looks great in the bag, even before you grind it, before you smell it. Well, you smell it when you open the bag, but before you really get into it, when you open the bag and look at it, it's just visually appealing, because it's got this really dark, rich, oily looking bean next to the lighter roasted dry. I don't want to say it's dry, because it's not dry, but the lighter roasted, less oily bean. And when they sit in the bag together, it's just visually appealing. It's pretty cool. And then, yeah, the Bitcoin blend is the Tanzanian peaberry plus the Colombian instead of the monsoon Malabar. That's right. There you go. Did you Brian, did you see the comment in the Lots Project chat that there's been another conversion to someone that cannot no longer drink shitty coffee? We've done it, my man. One victim at a time. One victim at a time. All right, what do we have on the list today? On the list today, let's get to it. By the way, did anybody watch the fish cam yesterday? Did anybody watch the fish doorbell? I gave you the opportunity to see the coolest thing in the world. You may have watched it a little bit on the live stream, but did anybody grab the link and go watch the fish doorbell yesterday? I do have to admit I may have clicked over to it once yesterday, and then again this morning a little bit. So fueling the Rewilder Life says she forgot. Pickle P says what? Pickle B says he watched it but fell asleep. Well, there you go. See, that's great. That's a relaxing way to check out at night with the whole anticipation of a fish coming through the screen, so you can see it while you're drifting off to your rest. I wish it wasn't like the opposite time there. I wish it was in the U.S. so the times would be better and they'd line up a little more, because I got to try to figure out. They say they're the most active at dusk and dawn. It's like a drug. Oh, Hunter, do you have it? Do you have it bookmarked on your phone? Do you like pull that shit up and just leave it when you're working on something? Do you like pull it up on your phone and sit it off to the side? Oh man. We're have a fishing contest. I don't know. Oh man, yeah, my idea for Hunter is we need to get his son's rabbitry live cam up on Noster for zap my buns. We could, hopefully nobody steals that. Sorry, Hunter, if I ruined the whole deal. I ruined it right there. Somebody's gonna steal it from you. You're just gonna have nicer buns to zap. Anyway, first topic on the list today was man, I had a moment yesterday. So I have to go back and kind of tell you the evolution of this, but my beautiful wife, I love her more than anything in this world. I really truly do. She's nuts. She's really crazy. She is. I mean, she'll admit it jokingly, but I think deep down inside she knows. She loves animals. She's not crazy because she loves it. And I shouldn't say she's crazy. She's very, 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 just very loving person. And she really likes people or animals more than people. And I don't blame her in the majority of cases. But my wife, a long time ago, I think on the show, we talked about cow families. Corey found a TikTok about how there's families when you're growing up that when you drive by a field full of cows, some families say hi to the cows and some people have no idea what you're talking about. My wife's family was definitely a cow family. Dixon, good morning, Chris Dixon. And Chris Dixon says the little ones usually are. The good ones are, at least. The good ones. So Corey's family, was your family a cow family, Corey? Oh, it's just kind of just you. Oh, I think she tried to allude to the fact that it might have been her upbringing, but it's just her. Um, Hunter says, "Who the hell doesn't say hi to the cows?" Oh, he says that's just rude. Well, my wife is definitely a cow person. Um, Chris Dixon says the rule is you must announce cows to the rest of the car. No, my wife actually says hello to the cows. Like, and if you heard the sincerity in her voice over 15 years or more, you would understand that she's really actually saying hi to the cows. And it's not just cows. It's not just cows. Over the years, I've realized that she talks to pretty much all the animals, all of them, anyone she sees, whether we're driving, whether we're walking, whether we're whatever we're doing. My wife is really consistently saying hi to the animals, having discussions with them. And so yesterday I had an experience, and after I told her, or after it was exposed, and I told her I was going to talk about it. She told me I had to talk about it on the show, and I said, "Well, I'm going to name it I'm going to name it Mr. Doolittle because I'm Mr. Doolittle and you're Dr. Doolittle." And she goes, "Well, Dr. Doolittle, the animals talk back." And she got kind of slow for a second, and she's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess." So I think she was just admitting to me that not only does she talk to the animals, but the animals talk back. I think she admitted that without admitting it. Rewilder Life says you're her favorite, and she's apologizing to me, Corey. So I think you need to fire up a live stream every morning, and you'll probably have a huge audience. So, all right. So we determined the fact that Corey talks to the animals, and they talk back. Apparently, yesterday, Corey and I were on our way home. We had gone over to Delinquent Scully. I'll talk about that in a little bit, to see Toolman Tim. And we're on our way back. We're driving. Corey drives. If we're together, 9 times out of 10, Corey drives. She's the one that, I don't give a shit about riding in the car, and she gets a little anxiety in the passenger seat, and she just likes to drive, and I let her because I don't give a shit. And so we're driving along, and there, every few houses there's dogs, and usually the dogs are laying out in the driveways around here. Especially it was a nice day. It was sunny. It was a perfect day to be laying out in the driveway. If I was a dog, I think it would be a great thing to do. Like if I was a dog and it was a nice sunny day, it was cooler, it wasn't really extremely hot, they were just laying out on the warm driveway taking a nap. I was like, that sounds pretty good. But as we're driving past, now Corey has kind of slow rolled me into talking to the animals also. I have yet to hear them talk back yet, so I haven't gotten the magical power to hear them talk back. But I have started communicating with them too as we go by. I'm like, hi, dog. You hear it so often that it just becomes normalized. Well, yesterday I took it to a new level because as we were driving by this house that's got this German Shepherd that we see pretty much every time we drive by there, whether I'm by myself or with Corey, there's this German Shepherd that lays in the driveway of this one house. Not the only animal. There's horses and things too. But as we were driving past this house, I just kind of waved. And it wouldn't have been a big deal. But first of all, Corey saw me wave. And as soon as she did, I knew I was caught. And I said, I just waved to the dog. And it was like the acknowledgement wave, like when you're driving down the road in the country and you give them the wave. It was one of those. It wasn't like a big hi puppy. No words were spoken. No communication other than a wave. And I said to Corey, I go, yep, I just waved to that dog. She says, oh, I saw that. I just assumed there was somebody standing by the house. And I was like, nope. Just random waving at the dog. I don't know. I think I just took my animal communication to a new level now that I'm waving to them. And my wife, being the wonderful smartass that she is, as we roll up to the next little property, there were 2 horses, and she goes, well, there's a couple horses if you need to wave to them. And she goes, hi, horsies. Like, guys, I'm losing it. Morning, Pip. How we doing? How we doing, Pip? Hopefully your morning's going good. Oh God, so yeah, that was sticking in my head a little bit last night. Now that I'm converting over to the dark side. Pickle Pete says, hey Corey, Pickle Pete says, as soon as I'm willing to hear them, I will. That's right. Confirmation from Dr. Dolittle back there. Oh man. Let me pop over on Doster, see who's hanging out over here. Anybody? Bueller. Nobody over on Noster. Streaming live on Noster. You can find the replay of the live over there also. Trying to wrap my head around how to promote that. And also get the Noster onboarding videos out. Like things went a little sideways with my onboarding process, and I'm not sure. Hunter says it's weird when they talk back. Does it get weird? Like, should I be okay with that? We've been watching Lost, and man, that show went fucking sideways real quick. It was almost credible. No, I should never say that. It wasn't even at the beginning. But man, it really went sideways quick. And that's what I'm wondering. He says, and then not everything talks. Yeah. Man, when those people are talking to the ghosts and shit in Lost, and I'm like, sometimes I've wondered when I talk to people, and I'm like, man, was that an actual human being? If the animals start talking to me, that's just going to be a little too much. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead and Hanging Laundry. Thanks for swinging in. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was rough. Let me see what else on the list here. Oh yeah, the onboarding went sideways. Like I went to record the one on my phone, and it wasn't as smooth as it was the time before. And I'm like, wait a second. And so I'm having to create a new key pair every time I'm trying it, and then it got lost in the pile of stuff to do. Hunter says there's ghosts and Lost. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen Lost? Dixon says maybe that's why Joe sniffs them first. You're talking about the Tiger King? Joe the Tiger King? Isn't that his name? Oh, Hunter's never seen Lost. Yeah, there's some ghosts in there, dude. There's some ghosts in there. There's lots of ghosts in there. It's interesting. We got to a point in the show that Corey looked at me and said, do we really want to keep watching this? And I'm on my phone doing something else. I'm like, yeah, let's keep going. Like, no fucking idea what's going on. Oh, it's relaxing. And a bear and the other half of the plane. Fucking polar bear, dude. What the fuck? I believe I don't have to say spoiler alert if the show ended over a decade ago. I think that's an internet rule. Pickle Pete met Ghost in a bar. Interesting. Looked like the Indian from the Doors movie. Anyway, anybody else that's joined us? Anybody watch the fish doorbell? Hunter said it's like crack and to beware, and Pickle Pete fell asleep while watching it. Any of the new joiners, other than on the show yesterday, pick up and check out the fish doorbell. I did. I'll admit it. So we went out to visit Tim, Toolman Tim, Canadian Farmstead. Didn't go watch the fish doorbell. How are the fish going to get through the fucking lock if you don't press the doorbell, Canadian Farmstead? If you don't do your part, how are the fish going to go lay their eggs? This is the spring spawning season where they're starting to move. We need all the help we can get. Over 900 people this morning before the show were on. Hold on. I have it up still. We are at 909 people. 909 people. We need an army. Canadian Farmstead says he doesn't care about Dutch fish. Hanging Laundry says fish doorbell. Where were you yesterday? We had the most important discovery in like recent history yesterday. I presented it on the show. You weren't here. Fish doorbell. Mike's Homestead watched it. We got a winner. Hanging Laundry, you're gonna have to go back and listen to yesterday's show about the fish doorbell. Chris Dixon. DFM. That's the new t-shirt. DFM. Dutch fish matter. I love it. Dutch fish matter. Canadian Farm said wooden shoes, wooden head, wouldn't listen. You guys are great. Anyway, Toolman Tim stopped down to his property here in Tennessee. He is on a big, I think he said 8-week road trip down here, going to a bunch of festivals and meetups and things like that. We had a couple days. He had a couple days to linger here in between an event and someplace else he had to be. So he thought he'd swing out to the property. He thought he would to crash in the cabin we threw up real fast on workday last fall. And man, he spent the night. He picked a doozy to spend out there on what that been Monday night. It was got like 2 inches of rain overnight and super high winds and things like that. Mike's Homestead bookmarked it. Well, of course, I have it bookmarked on more than one device, dude. Like I could watch it on my phone or on my laptop. I might even put it into two different browsers. Chris Dixon says, "Is he Uncle Ted or is that you?" Did he show the note? I don't know if I'm at liberty to yeah, Carrie Brown. Why not? Carrie Brown left him a note about being careful who he turns into when he stays in the 8x8 cabin in the woods off grid. Left him a sign that said Uncle Ted was here. Yeah, that wasn't me. I wish I could take credit for it, but Carrie beat me to it. But Tim spent the night there. It went well. And he was going to spend the day out there yesterday. I was going to come out and hang out and show him kind of the progress we made while he was gone, go over some things with him a little bit, and just walk around and see my buddy. Brian's going to smart TV for the trailer just for the fish doorbell. Corey, we're going to have a constant monitor on the wall with the fish doorbell, okay? You could talk to the fish. So we're going to go hang out with Tim. I was going to go hang out with Tim. And then Corey yesterday morning, she's like, hey, I think I could get a half day if you can wait. you can wait till 10 to head out. I can get a half day. I was like, sure, why not? Sure, why not? And so Corey and I went out. We spent the day with Tim. It was fantastic. I love my brother from another mother. Tim is an incredible person. If you don't know who he is, if you don't follow his stuff, I'm not sure where you've been, but check out Toolman Tim's workshop and all his stuff. Man, I've been interacting with that guy for quite a while now, and I have zero bad to say about the man. Absolutely nothing. So anytime I get a chance to hang out with him and then hang out with him and my beautiful wife at the same time, that was a win for me. Like, it could have been pouring rain and windy and stormy and crappy all day yesterday, and it would have been great. But it was sunny and cool, and we had an awesome day walking around, exploring the property, hanging out with Tim. Hunter asked, do the fish speak Dutch? I have not gotten to the speaking back ability of the animals yet. You told me that I have to. Pickle Pete says I have to allow it to happen. I haven't gotten to that level to know if the fish speak Dutch back. I don't know Dutch to speak to the fish. Maybe I should learn some Dutch so I can interact with the fish. Chris Dixon says Newfies are nice. Yeah, man. I don't know if it's the Newfie in him or what it is, but the guy is just one of the most genuinely nice people I've ever met. So it's good to have friends like that. It's good to have friends for sure. Anyway, we walked the property. We looked at the trails we cut in. Kind of pointed out some of the stuff we've planted and some of the plans that I've kind of pictured out as I've worked on it. It's nice to so no. So we had a good time. We walked the property, then we unloaded some lumber. Tim's going to go do a bunch of festivals, like I said, and then he's got almost a 2-week period where he's going to probably stay right out there at the property, and we're going to try to bang out a bunch of projects for him. He's going to be working, and hopefully I can clear up a bunch of that time to come out and work with him, and looking to probably quadruple the size of his little cabin out there and have a nice little place to stay. He's got an 8x8 inside right now. I think that's going to be a 4X, so that'll be a nice solid place for him to come down and get away, even if he brings Becky or the girls. So yeah, that'll be fun. Then we sat down and just bullshitted, man. A true bullshit session yesterday afternoon, man. We talked about everything. We sat on the porch of the cabin and just talked and caught up and things. And things went sideways, like always. Conversations went down rabbit holes, and we were talking about the content creation and the shows and things like that. His show, my show, and I kind of mentioned the TikTok conspiracy theory shows on Friday. I saw it on TikTok. So we got talking about some conspiracy theories, and I'm like, yeah, check this one out. And, there's always that grain of truth to chase and whatever. And so then he got talking about some of the things that he's been diving down the rabbit hole and stuff. And we got talking about something where he listens to a lot of he said he listens to a lot of anti flat earth and anti flat earth and atheist versus Christian, that kind of podcast and stuff. And so this is it. I was like, okay, let me hear what you got. And he says, well, the biggest argument they're going for right now with the atheist versus religious was I guess atheist versus deist, was that the atheist theory that there's no such thing as free will. And I was like, oh, okay. I explain it to me, man. Explain it to me. He's like, well, yeah, he's like, I don't necessarily agree with it. And I said, well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I talk about all these TikTok theories, and my audience has to think that I'm absolute Looney Tune. And I am quite a bit of a Looney Tune, but I don't believe all this shit. I explore the hell out of it, and more than anything, I like to go down the ones that are absolutely absurd, and the ones that I really can't see the disproof up front and giggle about it. Those are the ones that concern me. Are the ones that aren't absolutely absurd. The ones that are like, this really is hard to disprove. Hunter says, yeah, I was gonna say it's not because of the TikToks. Yeah. And Canadian Farm says, thought I was crazy long before the TikTok shows. Yeah, thanks guys. Um, um, Pickle P says the no free will dude has a good argument. He's a neurosurgeon from Stanford. With talking about the evolutionary inputs and the surrounding inputs, like the decisions you're making are not your free choice. Like you've already accumulated all the information that you need to make the decision. You just functionally make it. Rewilder Life says, oh, I love to listen to the stuff, and I don't believe much of it, but it sure is better than the news. Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, the free will argument that Tim kind of laid out, and it might be the same person that Pickle Pete's talking about, basically says that Chris Dixon says, doesn't denying the existence of something prove the belief in it? I mean, I don't think so. I can deny the existence of the fucking Death Star. That doesn't make it believable. I don't know. Anyway, the free will guy. Actually, I guess he should be the no free will guy. His theory. Mike's home said I got to star that one. His theory is something down the effect of, because of everything we've experienced in our lives up until this point and in the evolution of our species, all that information is used in every decision we make subconsciously. So we can't, with free will, make a decision because there is no free. We've already accumulated the answer. And it's really a deep pile to dig. But basically, I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it on the surface. And Mike's Homestead says, I proved no free will to my son Saturday. We were at Walmart. I told him to go put on a hot pink bikini top, and he could not do it. Well, he could have done it. That's the thing. He could have, but he would never choose to. And I told him, like, I get this. I can start to get on board with this because, like, I have the free will to jam my hand into a roaring fire. Like, I have that free will, but I never would do it. I would probably hesitate to do it with the choice of, like, other painful things to experience. I have the free will to jam my hand into that fire, but I would never do it. So does that still mean I have the free will? That says a lot, like Mike's Homestead here and his son in the pink bikini top. He could have walked over, like, legitimately, especially in today's day and age. Like 30 years ago, he would have probably got sent to the fucking loony bin. But especially in today's day and age, if he walked into the dressing room at Walmart and put a bikini top on and walked out, I don't think anybody would say shit. Canadian Farmstead says you would jam your hand in the fire to save one of your dogs. Corey's back there waiting for the answer. Man. Probably. Pickle P says the dude jamming his hand in the fire is like, I'd never drink a fifth of Crown. That sounds loony. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so something interesting to contemplate, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, oh, like accumulated experience. Accumulated experience is factoring in on this. And biological evolution is factoring in on this. And I'm like, holy shit. You know, I tell you guys every once in a while that there is like a serendipity, a synchronicity. Is it serendipity or synchronicity? Like when things line up with the Daily Stoic. I've noticed this, like, and I've wondered if it was written like a horoscope or written like written like the Bible or other things that are really wholly encompassing to any situation. But the fact that Tim brought that up randomly, because we were talking about like eclipse theories and like all kinds of loony shit, and it randomly came up. The Daily Stoic yesterday was about basically what understanding what is affecting your reasoned choice. Basically, what is making you make the decisions you're making. They pointed out an old quote, old Latin quote that that translated meant who's watching the watchman. Basically, like if you are making a reasoned choice about something, you need to have an understanding of what actually went into that choice, what went into that decision. Pretty much like the accumulated knowledge that Tim was talking about, which eliminates free will. And I was like, okay, that's weird. That's weird. Again, the Daily Stoic, like whether it's the day before something I said and it just like hits a home run, or something later that day, and I really am leaning towards more the fact that it's written like a horoscope, that it just is very, very encompassing in everyday life. But holy crap, having that conversation out of the blue. And it was the fact that Tim was like, yeah, I can't get on board with this, but I've been hearing this and we've been talking about it. And it was just a really good discussion about something that, you know, no one can really know the answer. And that's the great part about having that discussion with someone that's open to having it, that can argue, not even argue, but discuss both sides of it and be okay. Like, doesn't have to be right. It's great. It's great. I think that's one of the things I like most about hanging out with Tim is we have that relation. We can talk about shit, and you can talk about both sides, and it doesn't matter. So that was a little fun conversation, and that got me thinking. Mike said no. Homestead said no. The rule was right there in the main aisle. Even better, with all the TikToks and shit out there. Look, he should have. Did you bet him? Was this a monetary bet? Because holy shit, I think I could have went with that. I could have got that done, especially in the aisle. Like that's just absurdity on display, and that's just normal place in society today. Like I wouldn't think twice if I saw you and your son standing in the aisle at standing in the aisle at a Walmart and kids throwing on a bikini top. I just think he was a dipshit. Mike's Homestead says, so how does that work with whether I choose a Sun Drop or a Dr. Pepper at the store as I'm traveling? Have you ever had either? Do you prefer one or the other? You have a bias towards one or the other. unless you've neither had neither. You have no the packaging, the coloring, the advertising, the ads you've seen, similar products, all of that, all of that weighs into your decision when you pick up one or the other. It isn't, you didn't walk up. Now, free will would be if you walked up and there were two blank cans there and you choose one or the other. I think that would be unbiased free will decision to pick A or B if they're not labeled, just A or B for reference, so we know that there's two different things. But I think anything that distinguishes one from the other, that you have clues from previously in your life, all those past experiences in an instant, even if you're like, I don't care which one I have, you really do. You really do. And you may pick up the one you like least to either A, prove it to yourself, or B, try to like it more. Reasonable answer, Mike? I don't know. I'm pontificating here from the 10-minute conversation we had about this, and some logical thinking. Pickle Pete says, which side of the store is the men's clothes on when you walk in the door? Where are we shopping? I don't know where it is in Walmart. It's like in the center, I think. I don't know. I don't buy clothes in the store, so I couldn't tell you where. I would have to look for it. Hunter says, what do you want for dinner, pizza or Mexican? I don't care. I like both. They're the same. I had Mexican last night. Pickle Pea says, always on the right in the mall store. Oh, are malls still open? Does anybody been to the mall lately? Let me see. You gotta pop over here on. Hey, good morning, Jim. Over on Noster. Appreciate you stopping in. Thanks for the zap. Thank you very much for the zap. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, well, hey, Pickle Pete. Does it depend on what door you're going in? Because if you have a store in the mall and you're walking in from the interior entrance and the men's clothes is on the right, but then you walk in from the exterior entrance from the parking lot, it would be on the left. Where is our reference point? Assuming a center door. Like a portal that drops you into the center of the store? Let's move on. What else is on the list here? Oh, little story from the other day. That I was reading. It was right after the fish doorbell, before I went and explored the fish doorbell, so it kind of got buried. But I read an interesting story about a guy that took an extraordinary amount of time to do something that I probably never would. But I was like, this is really cool that he did this, and told the story after that. The guy bought one of those. Here, let me put it up here. One of these Honda. What are they? Honda Axe or something like that. Honda Acty, ACTY. These little mini trucks. If you're not watching the screen, it's one of those little 2-door mini flatbed utility truck type of things. Super small. Find them in Asia a lot. Rewilder Life says she wants one of these. Yeah, pretty cool vehicle. I think they'd be very utilitarian on a homestead, things like that. But this dude bought one, and it was in Japan. It took 4 months for him to get it. That wasn't the picture of it. It was just an example. It took 4 months for it to come over on the boat. What? Something about that one. No, I don't know what you're talking about there, Pickle Pete. But so he ordered one of these, shipped it across, and waited 4 months to get it. When he got it, the thing was like 20 plus years old. So he wanted to restore it. It didn't need a lot of work, but it was dirty. It was a work vehicle in Japan when he got it. So he went to detailing it. He starts cleaning it, and he's going to take out all the trim and everything on the interior and really do a nice job and make it up nice. He starts taking it apart, and he took apart the emergency brake cover, like the cover that goes over the emergency brake handle, the bezeling, and he found a receipt. And so he opened up the receipt, and it was in Japanese, and he did not speak Japanese, but he found it interesting. He saw the date on it. It was an older receipt, 10 years old or so. And he went to Google, and he got it translated. He put a picture of the receipt. He put a picture of the translated receipt. And it appeared that the receipt was for lunch at a gas station, fried chicken at a gas station, had the address of the gas station and everything. So the guy got thinking. He's like, I wonder if I put the address into like Google Maps and then go to Google Street View, I could like drive around the area that my truck that I got, my little truck that's like 25 years old or 27 years old, I can like drive around the streets on Google Street or the Street View where like I could have been driving this truck, and like I could re-see everything that this truck has seen. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool idea. So the guy goes to Google, and he starts doing the Street View, and he's driving around, and he's like, oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. And then he got an idea. He's like, I wonder what the oldest Street View saved on Google was. And so he rolled back the images. He rolled it back to 2017, was the oldest on file on Google. And so he loaded up the 2017 images, and he goes to the gas station, and he's driving around the streets, like clicking around. Have you ever done this? Like, I used to have to find addresses and stuff a lot when I was serving legal papers, and I would get kind of the scope of the neighborhood. I would go on Street View and like do a 360. I'd go down the block, kind of look around the corner, things like that, just for landmarks and reference, and get an idea what the neighborhood was like. So this guy's like driving around in 2017 Japan on the Google Street View, and he turns a corner, and in a parking lot was this truck that looked way a lot like his, but there's a ton of them. This is like a common work vehicle in Japan. And so he looks at it, and he zooms in on it, and he looks at his, and he found 3 distinguishing surface rust marks and a missing rubber piece on the bumper on the truck that he found on Google Street View matched his truck that he had bought and is sitting in his driveway in 2024 in the United States. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, to me, the fact that the dude like took the time to go through that process and then was rewarded at the end by shifting the camera and going, that's my truck. That's my truck from almost a decade earlier. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought maybe it's not. Maybe that's just something in my little brain that kicks up some enjoyment and some I felt pride for the guy. I think I was like, well done, sir. Well done. So yeah, that was that little story, and you can probably see why it got covered up by the fish doorbell, because the fish doorbell. Hagen Laundry, have you gone and seen the fish doorbell yet? I actually think that I would have been okay with you leaving the stream. I'm going to drop the link in the video chat again, just because just because it needs to be done. And I think everybody needs a chance to check out the fish doorbell at some point in their life. There you go. Pickle P says he thought I was going to talk about the dude who towed across the Atlantic and then died on Kilimanjaro. I don't know about that. I don't know anything about that. What's coming up today is I got a lot of videos to make. My man Tim, this dude is fantastic. Tim does review videos on YouTube if you haven't seen him. Lots of generators, lots of tools. He's Toolman Tim. It's his niche. I am kind of don't want to be niched. I want to be able to do reviews about anything that I actually interests me, that I've used something similar, that I have knowledge of, or that somebody wants to send me to take a look at and give my thoughts, like just an honest opinion of it. Sometimes people that aren't ingrained in the product make the best opinions because they have no bias. So I'm keeping my options open there. Talking to Tim over the last few weeks or month as I've gotten into doing this, these Amazon influencer videos, and I was like, here, I'm getting to this sticky point where I don't have a lot of stuff. We don't own a lot of stuff just because we live in a trailer and have all our stuff with us. I don't own a lot of things. And so I've been getting all these items from Amazon Creator Connections, and that's really cool. I appreciate all the companies sending those things out. And but there was going to be a point where I didn't have any more of my own shit to do reviews on. And I wasn't going to go stay in an Airbnb like a lot of the people in that program do, and do videos of other people's stuff. I just don't want to go stay in an Airbnb. Like, I'm like, whatever. As a business venture, it might have happened, but Tim was like, hey, I'm bringing down a bunch of stuff, and I got a few days where I don't need any of it. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing this stuff. If you want to do videos of the stuff I have that I don't need until I get back, you're more than welcome to. And so I kind of had this in my head before he came down. Well, yesterday when we went out there, he's like, hey, here's a tool bag full of stuff. Go at it while I'm gone. Take it home. And then he also gave me access to some of the other stuff that he had with him that are some pretty nice items. So, man, teamwork makes the dream work, man, for sure. My man, Toolman Tim, hooked me up with a bunch of stuff to do. So I have a tool bag full of awesome tools and gadgets sitting outside that I have, not outside, but in the truck, that I got to go through today and figure out what's on Amazon, record a bunch of videos. It's all tools that I've used, I've had, or things like that. So it's really cool. And the majority of them he got off of Amazon. So, man, what a good friend throwing those out there. And that gets me a shitload of videos to make. So that's number one. Number two is starting to dabble a little bit in TikTok. I had some goals set on Amazon as far as number of videos produced and some other metrics I wanted to hit before I ventured into any other affiliate video stuff. But the guy that I follow that is kind of I don't want to say it's a mentor. Well, it's a mentoring group, I guess. That's about a year ahead of me in the Amazon influencer stuff. He started messing around with TikTok. And so I've been watching his progress. He's been doing it for going on, I think it'll be 2 months at the end of March, maybe ish, about. And I'm watching his progress. And so I wanted to kind of start dabbling so that at the point where I hit my goals and I can move on a little bit, that I already know what's going on, like getting familiar with it, already deciding if it's something I want to pursue. And so I went over there and I was just kind of exploring the product marketplace, totally different world than Amazon. And I started just poking around, reaching out to some companies, and I have a few products on the way that are TikTok. One is TikTok exclusive, and I think 2 of them are actually on TikTok and Amazon, so I'll be able to get dual purpose out of the items coming out. but I got a cool little EDC flashlight coming that seems really cool, really popular. And I'm excited to check it out. It's very similar to the Cube that I got. You might have seen the review video on the Cube, the little green LED light, but this one is like a clip. I think it's going to be a winner. So I'm excited about that. But kicking around on TikTok a little bit, just getting the lay of the land, seeing if seeing how it goes. It really appears that TikTok is hit it and quit it. Kind of your video goes viral, you make your cash, and then you move on to something else. Another product. Kind of the big arches with sales and views, and then a lot of crappy no view stuff. Whereas Amazon is more of a long tail. You do your video and you make a little, and as you stack more videos, you make a little more. TikTok appears to be, you make your video and your video kind of does its thing, and then it's there. And it may take off again at some point, but not necessarily. Whereas Amazon, more than likely, is going to be sitting there on the product listing unless more and or better videos come along, and then it'll drop off. But if you're adding videos, they're always getting views, to where the other way. So I think it might be a good marriage of systems, especially if I can find a steady flow of items that are on both platforms, that you can make that viral video. Just for an example, man, thousands of dollars in a day, tens of thousands of dollars in a week, are some of the results that people are seeing over there. And it's hit and miss. I've been frustrated by figuring out the YouTube, the TikTok algorithms with how their videos get played. If I don't just rest on the fact that it's hit and miss, that it's like throwing a dice and a lottery ball at the same time, it would drive me mad. But I think it's worth making some 20-second, 30-second, 1-minute videos just in case. I guess. We'll see. I got some items in the mail on the way, so we'll see when we get them. Make some videos and see what happens. Other than that, I got a meeting with Ms. Sauce, Nicole Sauce from Living Tree in Tennessee. We're talking about the creator tent at SRF and kind of finalizing things on that. If you are coming to SRF and you're a content creator and you're thinking about you might want to do some interviewing, maybe get a shot at interviewing some of the headliners there, reach out to me at info@thelotsproject.com, and I can let you know what we got going on before we officially announce it, because hey, I'm setting it up. I'm going to be running it, and we're going to finalize things this afternoon. So beyond making videos and a meeting with Nicole, I think that's going to be a pretty busy day. It should be a good Wednesday. For sure. Other than that, guys, I don't know. That's kind of what I got on my list. Let me see here what else I got today. I didn't really put a whole lot up today. What do you guys think? What do you guys think actually happened with the Baltimore bridge collapse? Anybody heard any terrorist attack theories yet? As we bring up the fish cam, just so you can see it, and maybe we'll get lucky here in the last minute or so. Hunter said, "Did I see the article about the Ohio bridge?" No. What's going on in Ohio? Is Baltimore in Ohio? Was there an Ohio bridge that collapsed? Did a freighter that wasn't supposed to be on that river run into it? I see the official announcement is that the freighter lost power and was unable to steer and then hit the pillar. It appears that oh no. Hunter says the headline he saw says that a Ohio bridge spontaneously caught on fire. What was it made out of? Wood? I don't know. Yeah, they really, as soon as I saw the video, I didn't even need to hear anybody say anything. I knew that there was going to be a bunch of people that came out and were like, oh, it's just a bridge. It's just an accident. And that there was going to be a huge amount of people that were focusing on the explosion from one of the cargo containers, that people were going to be talking terrorist attack. People were going to be talking weird shit with the eclipse. And man, as soon as it happened, it all started rolling out. Did you see the explosion right before it hit the bridge? Was it before it hit it, or was it because it hit it? I don't know. It was dark. I couldn't tell. All I know is I saw an explosion and the bridge fell down. I'm not saying either way. I'm not seeing it either way by any means. I don't know what happened. All I know is there's a bridge in the water that they were able to slow traffic down, which is good. That they were able to only have, I think, a dozen cars on the bridge at the time that it went in. Otherwise, it could have been really, really, really bad. So who knows? Who knows? I think if it was a terrorist attack, they wouldn't have been calling and letting them know that they were unable to steer. I don't know. Maybe. Deception is what it's about. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up. We're over an hour here. It's been an interesting morning. I got a busy day ahead of me today. I appreciate everybody listening this morning. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, the share, the subscribe, and all of that. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or heading over to thelotsproject.com, looking in the shop, picking up some comfrey, some mugs, some t-shirts, consulting, all sorts of fun stuff over there. Thelotsproject.com. In the shop, you can also find a page with discount codes and partner companies, affiliate links, and all the such, along with much more. Guys, it's hump day. Get over the hump. Get through it. It's not that bad. We'll catch up with you tomorrow on the downside of the week.
I can feel the sun.